Hello everybody, welcome to Storytime. My name's Cheryl. Got a really lovely story for you today. It's called Dear Grandpa, and it's written by Kate Simpson, and the images are drawn by Ronojoy Ghosh, and it's with permission from Allen Unwin Books. Now sometimes the people we love are far away, but that doesn't mean that we don't get a chance to share information with them and tell them that we love them. Now, this little boy and his grandpa live very far away, but they write letters backwards and forwards to each other to remind each other how much they love each other. Let's jump in and have a read of those letters. It's called Dear Grandpa. Dear Grandpa, did you know that if you rub a needle with a magnet, one end will point to the north and the other end will point to the south? In the south, there's an apartment building 160 metres tall. From the balcony, you can see the entire city. There are cinemas and ice cream shops and me. Just in case you want to visit, I've sent a needle and a magnet with my letter. Love, Henry. Grandpa writes back, Dear Henry, tell me more about those ice cream shops. If they have peanut ripple, I'll get my skates on and be there as soon as I can. Love, Grandpa. I think Grandpa might be a fan of ice cream. Oh, Grandpa's got a Kit Kat. And there's a picture of Henry right on Grandpa's desk where he can see it. Henry writes back, Dear Grandpa, did you know it is exactly 2,003 kilometres from your house to my new apartment? If all the blue whales in the world made a line, they still couldn't reach me, and they are even bigger than a brachiosaurus. I don't think you could skate that far, Grandpa. Love, Henry. Bigger than the brachiosaurus is quite a big dinosaur, so it is certainly a very long way from Grandpa to Henry. Then Grandpa replies, Dear Henry, if it's too far to skate, I'll catch a ride on one of those whales. We'll stay up late and count the stars, just like we used to. Love, Grandpa. Have you ever tried to count the stars? My goodness, there's a lot of them. Dear Grandpa, did you know that there are 400 billion stars just in the Milky Way galaxy? If the cavemen started counting them 60,000 years ago, he still wouldn't be finished. Love, Henry. It's a very interesting fact, isn't it? 400 billion stars. That's a lot of stars. Dear Henry, if the cavemen had a little cave grandson, he'd be finished twice as fast. Besides, they could always skip a few. Love, Grandpa. Dear Grandpa, the cave grandson might not be as little as you think. Did you know I've grown 3 centimetres since I moved away? If I grow that fast, my whole life, I'll be as tall as a giraffe by the time I'm your age. Love, Henry. I'm not sure that's how growing works. I don't know that you continue to grow to be as tall as a giraffe. It's very inconvenient to get indoors. Dear Henry, if you were as tall as a giraffe, how would I kiss you goodnight? Don't you think you better stop growing before you get that tall? Love, Grandpa. I think you might be right, Grandpa. Dear Grandpa, short or tall doesn't matter. If even the whales can't reach my house, I'm not getting a good night kiss anyway. Love, Henry. Dear Henry, I'll send you my kiss every night. I tie it to the tail of a shooting star. Well, that's clever, isn't it? What a good way to send a kiss to somebody. Dear Grandpa, did you know a shooting star is really a space rock that moves so fast that it glows? Catching one would be very tricky, Grandpa. Tying a kiss on one would definitely be impossible. Dear Henry, Grandpas are good at tricky things. I do at least 10 every morning before you've even eaten your breakfast. And Henry, did you know when you're a grandpa, nothing is impossible? not even flying around on a jetpack. Look very carefully. There's a knock at the door. Knock, knock, who's there? Let's have a look. It's Grandpa. And look, now it's time to do all the things they talked about. Going to the ice cream store, reading books, having some whale sighting visits, playing soccer, going and looking through a great big telescope, seeing the giraffes at the zoo. Dear Henry, did you know that if you rub a needle with a magnet, one end will point to the south and the other end to the north? In the north, there's a wooden house with a blue front door. From the balcony, you can count 1 billion stars. There are mango trees and fireflies and me, just in case you want to visit. I've left a needle and a magnet with my letter. Love, Grandpa. That's the end of the story. If there's somebody you love who is far away, maybe you might like to write them a letter and say hello. Maybe send them a card or a beautiful drawing that you've made. That would make their day. Have a fantastic rest of the day, and I will see you next time. Bye.